Hi, welcome to Jeweliyana's kitchen. It is my favorite time of summer. It is fruit pie season. So I am going to teach you today how to make a really flaky, fluffy, light pastry pie dough. And then you can make whatever kind of fruit pie you want to. But if you want to know what kind of fruit pies I'm going to be doing, subscribe to my channel and keep an eye out, because I was at the farmer's market and peaches were looking fabulous. So I think that's going to be the next video. But first, let's show you how to make some pie crust. Okay, here we go. I'm going to make a large batch of dough just because I like to make enough for 2 full pies. Plus it uses like a whole pound. So if you're using lard, you can use the whole package, and then you don't know what to do with the rest of it. You've got it all covered. And you can freeze the dough as well and just make a single pie if you want. So I will have the single pie recipe in the description, as well as this full recipe for 2 pies with covers. Okay, so this one is 5½ cups of flour in a large bowl, and then you want to add 2 cups of cubes of your fat, for lack of a better word. I'm going to use butter and lard. And you can use all butter if you want to, or you can use all lard. It's just a preference thing. And I'm kind of a mad scientist at heart. I like to cook from scratch and I like to experiment. So I'm going to do half and half. Try half butter, half lard, and see how that goes. Okay, and now if you don't want to do I'm doing the old school way, where it's a little more labor, where you have to cut it in with a pastry cutter here like this. You can just use your mix master, or put all this in a, what do you call those things? I don't have one, you can tell I know. It's called a food processor. Okay, then you also want 5½ cups of flour, and to that we want to add 2 teaspoons of salt. That's all we need for dry ingredients, and then we just want to cut in this lard. So it takes a second to get started this way, but you know, if you're at the cabin and you don't have all your fancy appliances, you can still make pie. You can actually just use a couple forks or 2 knives to do this as well. Okay, we just wanted to do that until the dough is nice and mealy. Just a little, you know, all the fat is broken up and mixed in with the flour. So we're good there. Now we want to add the liquid part. And so there's a secret to this, how you make a really nice crusty flaky pie dough. And you want to use a large measuring cup. I'm using a 2-cup measuring cup. And crack 1 egg into that cup. And whisk it up with a fork. You just want that egg to be slightly beaten. And then into this, you want to add a tablespoon of lemon juice. The reason we add the lemon juice is because when you add water to the flour, it starts to the gluten starts to activate and get all stretchy and stuff. And if you don't put something in to help break that down a little bit, like that's what the lemon juice does, it stops that from happening, so that you get a nice flaky pie crust instead of a like doughy, like pizza dough. So that's why you add the secret of some lemon juice. And now what you want to do is top up this container to the 1 cup mark with super cold water. So I have a glass of ice water here, and I'm not going to put the ice cubes in, but I'm just going to top that liquid up. So displace whatever the egg and lemon juice you use to get it to the 1 cup mark. Wipe up your mess if you made one like me. And then we just want to drizzle this across the dough. You might hold back about 2 tablespoons just to see, because sometimes, depending on the temperature where you're at, you might not need quite as much liquid. So we start with I just use my fork, mix that around a bit. Well, it looks like I will need the full amount of liquid, so I'm just going to go for it. Because we're going to get this nicely coated. And then you want to have your hands washed, of course. because here comes the fun. You can't make a pie without getting your hands in the pie. So you want to mix the dough until you have a nice pie dough consistency. You can see as you start getting to the end, you can actually like knead it just a little bit to get it into a nice ball. And then if it gets a little too soft, you can kind of feel, you can see, right? It's not melting away. This is pretty good. I can roll this out now. But that's how easy it is. Literally only takes a minute. Okay, 5. But now I have a nice ball of pie dough to start the party.